Hi, and welcome to Not Just Talk Therapy Podcast. We are your hosts.
This is Leslie, a holistic psychotherapist.
And I'm Britany. I'm the girl next door.
Talk therapy is great, but we believe it's not enough. We examine the body, mind, and soul and challenge you to think differently, see things in a holistic way to approach and resolve life's challenges.
Join us for a fun and meaningful conversation and learn tips and insights on how to approach life's complex issues. We are so excited for you to tune in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being a part of today's episode number 12. If you're new to our show, welcome. Take a seat and definitely get comfy. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you for joining us week after week. We love to have you all. We love for you to be a part of our community. If you're new and you do enjoy today's episode, feel free to go back to episode 1 through 11 to check out other topics Leslie and I have discussed. So today's episode, I'm going to talk about social comparison and how it negatively affects our mental and emotional well-being, lowers our vibrational energy, creates separateness, and also disconnects us from who we are truly meant to be. I will share some ways to redirect our thinking to get out of this pattern of social comparison. Theodore Roosevelt called comparison the thief of joy. And he may have been right. In today's society, it is so easy for us to get caught in the midst of the comparison game. I mean, think about it. We can pick up our phones and instantaneously have scrolled through numerous people's lives in a matter of seconds, comparing our looks, our leisure, our attitudes, our wellness, our wealth, our families, our children, our intellect. We can dissect every visual display presented to us, thoughts rapidly running through our heads throughout every day, year after year. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like you're constantly comparing yourself to others in your life or online? Do you feel like you find yourself judging others or yourself when you self-compare? And this next question is really important. How does it make you feel when you're comparing yourself to others? Asking yourself or saying to yourself, "Oh, wow, she seems like she has it all together. Man, she seems like she has nothing together. They travel a lot as a couple. More than my husband and I do. He has a six-pack and a great career. She is so mindful, I wish I was more like that. I'm more mindful. She needs to work on that. She is too skinny. I am too fat. She is dating someone else? Why does she breastfeed in public like that? That's weird. He is richer. She is richer. They have a better marriage, a better house, a better job, a better life. They are better. I am better. Compare, compare, compare. Judge, judge, judge. Right? And then we have feelings of anger, emptiness, envy. We have all felt this to some extent. It is toxic for us to do so, but we're all guilty of it. I know I am. And it's not just in social media, it is in real life too. But I feel like it's more prevalent in today's society with social media. The world is at our fingertips. And Leslie talks about this in episode 10, about our addiction to our smartphones. If you haven't listened, you should definitely go back and check it out. She talks about how it negatively affects our brain and our emotions, and also gives some good tips on how to step away from our phones for a while. And I asked this question earlier. How does it make you feel when you're comparing yourself to others? For me, I know it doesn't make me feel good. When I'm judging and self-comparing, it makes me feel empty. It lowers my mood. It lowers my energy. I feel like there's some sort of lack inside me. And it doesn't matter if we are perceiving ourselves better or worse than the person which we are comparing. Whether we perceive them as someone who has less or more than us, we still come out of the comparison at a loss. We either have a false sense of superiority, or a false sense of inferiority. I read an article years ago and I've saved it, but the article talked about what happy people do differently in their life than unhappy people. And one of the things that happy people do is they avoid social comparison. This article said, avoid overthinking and social comparison. Comparing yourself to someone else can be poisonous. If we're somehow better than the person that we're comparing ourselves to, it gives us an unhealthy sense of superiority. Our ego inflates. Kaboom! Our inner Kanye West comes out. If we're worse than the person that we're comparing ourselves to, we usually discredit the hard work that we've done and dismiss all the progress that we've made. What I've found is that the majority of the time, this type of social comparison doesn't stem from a healthy place. If you feel called to compare yourself to something, compare yourself to an earlier version of yourself. I like that advice. When we compare ourselves to others, we begin to lose our power. We lose our sense of being, of who we truly are, and what we're truly capable of. We can, as the article said, have an inflated ego, but I feel more often than not, when we compare ourselves to others, we have feelings of inadequacy. When we're seeing others through this lens, we're really not in alignment with what we are or what others are. When we compare ourselves to others, we feel badly about ourselves. We attract what we feel. So if we feel less than, the world will reflect back to us exactly that, less than. This feeling comes from the fear that there is not enough to go around, that if they are sitting at the table, we can't join them. When we see someone that has something we want or is experiencing something we want to experience, our minds immediately go to the if they have, then I don't have mentality. That there's not enough to go around the room. But I've got some good news. There's definitely more than enough to go around. There is infinite abundance. Anything you dream of can be yours. You just have to release the fear. Let go of the expectations and have faith the universal guidance will bring you where you are meant to be. Statistics have shown that 1 out of 10 of our thoughts are based on social comparison in areas like attractiveness, wealth, intelligence, and success. There is an idea that people tend to determine their own social and personal worth based on how they stack up against others. This idea is called the social comparison theory. Psychology Today states comparisons are likelier to make us feel bad when we make the error of only comparing ourselves to paragons of certain traits. So, for example, many people believe they have a less active social life than others. I mean, maybe not in today's world with COVID, but in normal reality. But when making such comparisons, people tend to compare themselves only to the most social people they know. So understanding this bias can help us make more realistic and motivating comparisons. Many people fall into the trap of positional bias, comparing only up rather than down. A fascination with celebrity culture and the prevalence of carefully manicured social media feeds only exacerbates the effect by exposing people to an endless stream of others' seemingly perfect images. Their homes, their jobs, their skills, their families, the list goes on. So let's say you're mindlessly scrolling through Instagram when you suddenly realize you feel jealous, right? All the perfect images of bodies, homes, jobs, skills, families have you feeling both jealous and also at the same time ashamed of that jealousy. So Abraham Hicks has an emotional guidance scale. This is a list of commonly felt emotions ranging from joy, appreciation, freedom, love, and empowerment, which are at the highest of the scale, to fear, despair, desperation, grief, and powerlessness, the lowest of the scale. So here's the emotional scale as described by Abraham Hicks. Number 1, joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love. Number 2, passion. Number 3, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. Number 4, positive expectation, belief. Number 5, optimism. Number 6, hopefulness. Number 7, contentment. Number 8, boredom. Number 9, pessimism. Number 10, frustration, irritation, impatience. Number 11, overwhelmment. Number 12, disappointment. Number 13, doubt. 14, worry. 15, blame. 16, discouragement. 17, anger. 18, revenge. 19, hatred and rage. 20, jealousy. 21, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. 22, fear, grief, desperation, despair, powerlessness. So those feelings of jealousy that I just talked about with the social media comparison example is 20th on this emotional scale. This comparison ultimately affects your mental and emotional state. It shifts your vibration away from joy and down the emotional scale. Our energy attracts its likeness. So when we're low on that emotional scale, we're emitting negative energy out into the universe, which then attracts negative people, negative situations, and negative experiences, things that match our vibration. The more we slide back up the scale, the closer we get to joy. The closer we are to joy, the more easily we attract a higher vibrational likeness. Comparison is a chief weapon for the ego to keep us in the dark. Whether we are comparing ourselves positively or negatively, it really doesn't matter. The ego is creating separateness. From a spiritual perspective, we are all one. The greatness I see in myself is equal to the greatness you see in yourself, just as the greatness I see in you is the greatness that I perceive to be in me. When we compare, we immediately go into the ego mindset of separation. We lower our belief system. We lower our energy. We lower our connection from oneness. When we are attacking others through comparison, we are directly attacking ourselves. So just to recap, things that social comparison does. It lowers our mental and emotional state. We either feel bad about ourselves or we end up with an inflated ego. Feelings of social comparison lower us on the emotional scale. It also lowers our vibrational energy. We are at a lower emotional state, our vibrational energy is lower, and then we end up attracting that same low vibration. It also moves us away from our most authentic self. So we try to emulate what we see, not being true to who we are, but closer to who we think or what others think we should be. And this ultimately ends up making us feel worse through time because we get more disconnected from who we truly are. And then lastly, it lowers our connection from oneness into separation, which is formed by the ego. So a few ways to make you feel better and move away from social comparison. The first thing that you're going to have to do is you take notice of when you begin to compare. So once you feel and notice that you're, comparing yourself to someone else, just take notice of how you feel. Becoming more aware of when you compare is the first step to change, and then taking note of how you feel. Second, when you do notice that you're comparing yourself, don't get upset with yourself. Have compassion. Don't get upset with yourself when you compare. Just take notice of how it makes you feel and choose to move away from this. We all do it. The more you become aware of the ego's desire to keep you in the dark, the more you will step into the light. You can stop comparing and distract yourself by doing something that makes you feel good. So once you notice that you're comparing, you can stop and then immediately try to do something that makes you feel good, like going for a walk or reading a book or calling a friend or exercising. Doing something that makes you feel good is a good way to boost your mood, your energy, and bring you back up the emotional scale. And then lastly, create a gratitude practice. When you begin to take notice of all that you have, you don't feel as if you lack. If you are able to sit at home in a comfortable, quiet space, begin to meet me there now. We'll do this together. Come to have a comfortable seat and feel the weight of your body gravitate towards the ground. Gently close your eyes and feel the heaviness of your lids. Begin to take notice of your breath, the rise and the fall of your chest and belly, and just begin to relax. Sometimes the darkness can draw you in. It can take away from the light. When you go down the path of comparison and your heart is gently urging you not to. You see your habits and long to change them, tired of reliving patterns and having feelings of inadequacy. This can make you feel hollow at times, moments of feeling separate. It is hurtful to live in the disconnected between what you are now and what you know truly exists within you. Effortlessly and beautifully made, it can hurt to be caught in this place of darkness, in this divide. But you are as wonderful as the glistening sun and the crashing waves. You are a being of wonder and delight. There is just one of you. Trust in that power and have faith in it. Release the clenched grip of your ego. Breathe. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Swim away from the shallow. Go deep. Breathe deep. Feel deep. Love deep. When you don't, you will forget to meet yourself in the soft stillness, a place to give yourself full life once again. Know that abundance is within you, hugging every cell of your being. The ego wants you to lose control, so it will feed you fear. You travel between calmness and love, and doubt and fear. You want different, and that is why you are here. You can feel it vibrating within you when you arrive in peace. You know you belong right here. You are home. The darkness can tug at our hearts and our minds and walk you along the familiar landscape of fear and doubt. We all journey there too from time to time, wondering when we will see the light again. You have grown so much, dear one. You are rising above the dark shadows. You are becoming free. You live between the dark and the light, between trust and distrust, between love and fear, between radical acceptance and uncertainty, between control and faith, between night and day. You are human. You are love. You are enough. It is okay to have doubts. You are not broken. You are human. Be gentle with these thoughts. When fear blocks you, and control paralyzes you, and loneliness blinds you, send special care to love yourself. Send special care to bring love to others. Send special care to take gentle care of your vulnerability. You are here. You are love. You are love in all your shadows and in all of your light. Moments of fear or doubt or judgment cannot be defeated, but you can be transformed in these moments. They will come again. Receive these moments as opportunities to cultivate self-love. And in time, with practice, these feelings visit less. You are learning to restore the love you lost, the love you forgot you were made of. The light will come, as it always does. Always know you are being blessed. You are being showered. You are part of a bigger and better plan than your own. That the universe is a kind and loving one. That she is teaching you how to love. That you are loving to yourself. That you are loving to others. That you are worthy. That you are enough. Begin to feel the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the darkness behind your lids. And here in this radical moment, know that there is great light. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And whisper softly to yourself, I love you. Release all your judgments or criticisms or frustrations of yourself and of others. Accept the amount of love you give to yourself and to others in these moments of great joy and also great unrest. Breathe in. Nice, audible exhale. Begin to softly open your eyes and smile for all that you are. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. Blessings to you all. Thank you for listening to today's show. If you love what you heard, please subscribe, write us a 5-star review on iTunes, and follow us on Instagram at mastering.your.mind.
You can find more information from the show on our show notes on our website, notjusttalktherapypodcast.com, all spelled out. And if you're interested in working with us one-on-one, our contact info is also on our website.
Thank you again, and see you on next week's episode.